I foresee hard times in the not so distant future. And it's really important to me to be able to help the people around me. And a lot of people that are watching perhaps have a very different view on that. And a lot of people have the approach that if they're too lazy or too cheap or too stupid to prepare for themselves, good riddance, just forget about them, and they deserve to die. I'm not on board with that philosophy. And if you read the comments on this video, you're gonna see some people of that school of thought that I'm gonna take care of myself. I'm gonna put my face mask on first and maybe help my immediate family, but everybody else is on their own. And that's heartbreaking to me, and it's really difficult for me to accept that. And I mean, I refuse to accept that. I want to be the type of person that is prepared enough and ready enough, willing and able to help the people around me. Those of you that don't know, my truck runs on vegetable oil, used vegetable oil. And I was able to pick up about 60, 70 gallons this morning to go in the stockpile. Yeah. I am filming a video and getting my truck ready to paint. Yeah, we had a big hole right here where the stock tailgate didn't close it up all the way up to the camper shell, so we added this right here, and this needs to be painted. You want to help? Turn it. A little more. Right there. Good. Keep your foot on the brake. That's it. So what I'm getting at is like let's say your brother and your nieces and nephews and those types of people that you care a lot about in your lives. If they were to show up at your door one day because of hard times, the whatever SHTF doomsday apocalypse event has happened, they show up at your door, and just because they haven't prepared, as much as you have, or at least in your mind, what are you going to do? Tell them to go away? I mean, you're gonna watch them go hungry? Be cold out in the snow and the rain or whatever? I mean, I don't think I could do that, right? I don't know. But then there's the other side of it where you're taking food out of potentially your children's mouths and putting it into somebody else's. Can you do that? Pickle barrels are what I'm going to be using to haul oil in the back of the truck so we can extend our range. My vegetable oil tank's 44 gallons, and that can only get you so far. So I'm going to fill those up plus some other containers and haul as much fuel as possible so we don't have to burn any diesel fuel. Big road trip coming up, by the way. A lot of people look at preppers and people of that sort of lifestyle that prepare for hard times, and they look at them as selfish people. They're the hoarders, the ones that go and raid the shelves of the grocery stores and take more than they need. And they think of them as selfish people because of that. But the way I look at it is that the more prepared that I am, the more that I have, the more prepared I can be for those hard times, the more I will be able to help the people around me. And I think that's an important thing, and I think that's a kind of a stigma that preppers have developed over the years because of, there's been some bad apples, I guess. There are selfish people out there that go and grab whatever they can just so other people can't have it, basically. And they don't care about anyone but themselves. But I want to encourage all of us, everyone that's watching, to be the type of person that cares more about other people than they do themselves. And all of the things that you do each and every day, all the preparations that you make, do that with a desire to help the people around you.
Go. Go.
Full 8-second ride. Desperate times call for desperate measures. My kids spent the entire weekend longer than the weekend, 3 or 4 days, riding ATVs and side-by-sides. And they went through all of the gas that I had around here. So I've got to go freshen my reserves up. And so I'm stealing some fuel, to what's left, out of this little motorcycle here to get the pressure washer going. Where do we draw the line between charity and providing for our immediate families? Where does that line get drawn? Have a basic conversation with those loved ones that could potentially seek refuge at your home. Give them some ideas of the things that they need to stockpile, some items that they should probably bring with them if they should have to flee perhaps an urban area, because that's where the problems are going to occur first. What should they have with them? Because a lot of people just don't know. A lot of people either they just don't believe that hard times are going to come eventually. Is it going to come today or tomorrow or next week or next year or 10 years from now? Who really knows? It's inevitable that it will happen in our country again. We just don't know exactly when. A lot of people are in denial about that. A lot of people think just because it hasn't happened in their lifetime, it'll never happen again. And then just a lot of people are just too lazy to prepare and just are too happy and comfy in their climate-controlled house to do the necessary things that might be required to provide for the family in hard times. I don't know. But having those conversations beforehand, I think, is important. Giving people ideas of some of the things that they should have on hand, some things that they should bring if they do seek refuge at your home. Basic things like clothing and food and toiletries and that kind of stuff. And then just have a discussion with them about what, possible possibilities they can expect, If they show up empty-handed and you're taking out of your food supply for them, break down the simple math. Okay, we've got this much food, and this is how long it will last with all of the mouths that we have to feed. And break it down like that so they have an understanding. Because I've had conversations with family members before, and they've said, "Oh yeah, we're just going to show up at your place, and you're ready." But you have that conversation with them. Okay, let's say, for example, I had a month's supply of food. Let's say a month's supply of food for 5 people that I live with currently. If we double that population, suddenly we have 10 people living in our house, which would be very easy with the amount of people that you have in your family and that I have in my family. That'd be kind of a minimum, I think. How long will that food last? It's going to last 2 weeks, right? If you've got more than that, it's going to go down to a week. And that stockpile of food dwindles really, really quickly. So I think people just need to open their eyes a little bit. And I think that's our responsibility, you and I, our responsibility is to educate those people around us so that they can be more prepared. Something else that's just important, I think, is that people need to understand under what circumstances, under what situations should they come, right? I mean, just because their power's out or whatever, for a short period of time, or maybe there's a little bit of civil unrest in the area, maybe that doesn't automatically mean that you just up and leave, right? Maybe it does. I don't know. It just depends on your plan. I think we should encourage people as much as possible to get their own homes prepared as much as possible. That's your ship. Make sure that thing stays afloat as long as possible. And then worst case scenario is you end up having to go somewhere else and start, dipping into their supplies. There's people out there. There are some selfish individuals in our world, and there are people out there that just, they think, when the SHTF happens, that they're just going to start, shooting strangers on sight, and they're sitting on their food supply in their bunker somewhere, and they don't care about anyone but themselves. And to me, that just seems like a lonely, sad waste of an existence, a waste of a life. And it's not something that I'm willing to do. There's general guidelines. One of the ones that I suggest is that your household has a minimum of a 1-year supply of food. I think at a bare minimum, you need a month's supply of food. I think that's every household should have that at an absolute minimum. But a 1-year supply, I think, is a really good goal for everybody to have. And if everybody knew we knew had a 1-year supply of food, I think that would get us through a lot of the tough spots that we might have in our future. Everybody has their predictions on what's going to go down one day, you know. And I've had people leave very selfish comments on videos like this, saying that they're going to prepare for themselves and themselves only, and screw the rest of the world. And if you know, a pregnant mother comes to their doorstep, they're gonna send her packing. If a strange face shows up, they're just gonna drop them dead in their tracks. And to me, that's just the saddest, most selfish, miserable existence that I can imagine. Living in a bunker all by yourself with no one to care for but yourself. I don't understand the point. I don't understand that logic, and it just doesn't make sense to me. What's the point of survival if not for the sake of other people around you? I don't have the negative view of the world that a lot of preppers and people that are in the similar field as I am. I don't have that negative view. I think that there are hard times coming. However, I don't think that civilization is just going to come to a complete halt. I don't think we're going to end up back in the Stone Age. I don't think that's going to happen. Civilization will continue on. Yes, it may get more difficult. There may be some really hard times ahead. People are going to be mean. People will be cruel to one another. They will be selfish. But I think we can persevere through that. And I think a big step in that direction of perseverance is being more prepared. And like I said before at the beginning of this video, ensuring that you are as prepared as possible so you are capable of helping as many people as you can, and spreading the word, educating the people around you to be more prepared and what they need to be doing and the things that they need to be stockpiling. If you can better prepare the individuals, the families in your immediate area, the less chaotic life is going to be when hard times come. So I really do appreciate you guys watching. I'd love to hear some feedback on this one, because this is something that I really struggle with. This is, I mean, what do we do? What do we do for the loved ones around us, especially the ones that are less inclined to be prepared for hard times, even though you shout it from the rooftops. Share this video with somebody that you think might benefit from it. If I'm speaking to you and you're hearing this message, send this to somebody that you think might benefit from it, and maybe this could be a segue into those difficult conversations that you've yet to have with them. So, and I'm in the same boat. I need to have those conversations with a lot of people. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I cannot wait to see you on the next one.